get it started now. Freedom, 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 freedom. My freedom begins at Lifeforce Canada.
Welcome to Lifeforce Canada. I'm Karen, and together we rise. We are here to remind you that you're not alone and to educate you on how to exit the matrix in a way that is really empowering for you, from human slavery to freedom. And if you're new here, I do recommend that you subscribe to our Lifeforce Canada YouTube channel so that you can find out more about who we are. And yes, YouTube banned me again. They removed the Manifest Abundance video out of all the videos. They wanted to remove that one. So ridiculous. And so I'm banned for 2 weeks, but we will persevere. I do have some updates. We do have a new economic think tank. Thank you to Sam Land, who lives in Saskatchewan, for stepping up and taking the lead. This think tank will be on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And if you go to our lifeforcecanada.ca website, on the very top of the menu bar, you're going to see the think tank link. Just click on there and you'll find it. I also spoke with Kim on Zoom last week, and she asked if we had a living wage here in Canada. And so I asked my friend Will, who was on the call as well, and he graciously created the document, which has now been sent to Kim. So living wage is what she's thinking about, because if everyone had millions of dollars in the bank account, what would happen? No one would work, right? There would be no cashiers at the grocery store. Stores wouldn't even be open because no one would want to work. So instead, if everyone receives a living wage, they can not only support themselves, move out of the survival mode and into thriving, but still seek to work, seek to connect, seek to contribute. And I thought that was very wise. I also was invited by Ted Coombs, who is leading the Freedom Rising movement, to a conference call, and 70 other freedom leaders in North America were on that call. It was so incredible to connect with so many people who are standing for freedom no matter what. And I was given 10 minutes to share Lifeforce Canada, and I'm now connecting to so many incredible human beings who really want to learn more about what we're doing. So thank you to Ted. And one of those amazing people that I connected with was Jennifer, co-founder of the World Council of Health, and we instantly connected. We chatted the next day, and I now have a new soul sister. She also invited me to be on their committee, so that's very exciting. Okay, everyone, let's just breathe in life force energy and exhale. We're breathing in what we want in life, and we're breathing out what we do not want in our life anymore. We've been talking about what a parallel society looks like for quite some time. We've talked about the One Small Town movement, the Venus Project, and other options. Today, we're going to be talking about intentional communities and what is an intentional community and how to create one. And I'm going to be sharing a presentation, and then we're going to have a Q&A. Okay, so designing our future town community. I think this is really important right now for all of us to really focus on how we can all create an intentional community, a beautiful future. So many people are struggling in fear, anxiety, and stress right now with everything that's going on in the world. And so I thought this would be a great opportunity for all of us to really connect and focus on what we really want the new earth to look like. When people think of intentional community, sometimes they think of hippies in a van down by the river, dancing barefoot. Yes, it can definitely look like that. However, I'm going to show you a completely different concept. An intentional community is defined as a small or large group of people who have chosen to live with a common purpose, working cooperatively to create a lifestyle that reflects their shared core values. What I'm sharing today is a vision that I was given. This is just to help you define for yourself what you see for your future. I'm going to be showcasing how we can create a new community from the ground floor. I'm going to give you an example of what that parallel structure can look like. As you all know, for those of you who've been on the lifeforcecanada.ca website, we do have this quote on the website. Buckminster Fuller, incredible, brilliant man, stated, "In order to change an existing paradigm, you do not struggle to try and change the problematic model. You create a new model and make the old model obsolete. That, in essence, is the higher service to which we're all being called." Now, we have looked at the One Small Town strategy. Michael Tellinger, he is such a genius. I interviewed him last year, and he's created the One Small Town movement, and I just love the concept. However, if you look at society right now and the towns, the counties, the population is still asleep and really not ready for the profound change that this model brings. I do believe that eventually we're going to get there. However, right now there's so many people who are not awake and not aware to stepping into this model. However, this is what our Plan Council model is based on, as our goal is to make every town prosperous and really step into a higher level of contributionism. Now, we have looked at the Venus Project created by Jacques Fresco, and he really reflects a large city futuristic model based on concentric circles, domes, structures that are really in harmony with Earth. I love this model, I really do. However, the con with this would be it is a very large project and it's a multi-billion-dollar project. And so I do believe eventually we can get here 100%. However, today I want to share with you the vision that I have and what I would love to see here in Alberta, and then we can template this out. Of course, you can call your community whatever you want. I'm going to call this one here, Together We Rise, Eco Village, because I do believe that as we move forward, we're going to be coming together more and more and really allowing for a new model to be created. Now, I know planning and initiating an intentional community is really a complex task. It can also result in a lovely community to live in. And if we look at the model that I've created here, I want to implement the One Small Town model and the Venus Project model, but just on a smaller scale. Now, Jacques, he has 6 concentric sectors wrapping around a central dome, and then the rings are formed, outline the urban setting. So all designated areas are really essential to human existence, and I'll go through that in a moment. The design that I love is the circular town, the village following sacred geometry, the form of flower of life and its fractal nature, which really allows for a high frequency energy to move not only through you as you walk through the grounds or walk into your home, but any building as well. And so I just think it's brilliant. So in the model that I've created, we would only have 4 concentric circles. And in the center, as you saw in the Venus Project, I would love to see what I call a living arts center. And I'll go through all of these different quadrants in a moment. And then the second ring is living space. So that would be where all the homes are. Businesses, marketplace would be the third ring. And then the outer ring would be gardens, greenhouses, and nature. Okay, so the Living Art Center, this is where I see you every human being as living art. And this is where we have a learning center for all ages, a meeting place to connect, have workshops, meditate, dance, yoga, and also a restaurant for all who really live in the village. And this is a place where everyone has an opportunity to learn, both children and adults, and everyone is a learner as well as a teacher. And with this collaborative growth process, we will be able to empower everyone to work together more effectively. So this is where grandparents can teach children, children can teach adults, and so on. So everything that Norma Jean talks about in her education think tank and what's being created in the Lifeforce Canada education portal can be applied in a community like this. So these dome structures are really powerful as we move forward in higher levels of consciousness, because the energy on the planet is shifting and we're going to be stepping into more of the divine masculine, the divine feminine. And so this is one of the reasons why I see the dome structure as being really, really powerful. And of course, we're going to have a restaurant where we offer healthy meals. And it also would be open to teaching people how to cook food that actually feeds the mind, body, and soul. The dome structure can also be 3 large domes connected. So you would have one can be where the school is, one can be where the workshop conference center is, and one can be the restaurant. Infinite possibilities. Okay, this is the fun part. This is where you get to choose your own unique living space. I truly believe in beauty and space and designing our home to reflect the soul is really, really important. So I'm going to show you 6 different styles of home that we can have in an intentional community. I did have a tiny home in the presentation from the very beginning, but then I went into meditation and source came through and immediately said to me, there are no tiny homes in 5th dimensional reality. There is no such thing as living in a small space. You will need to have a home that embraces your energy field. Right now, in this 3rd dimensional reality with the controllers and the matrix that they've created, we have an energy field that is restricted. And so they are promoting the tiny house. Our energy fields will be growing the more we move into higher levels. We're going to be dissolving fear and scarcity mindset. 5th dimensional reality is really about love, abundance, and there is an abundance of earth, abundance of everything. So if you look at the word extraterrestrial, it is defined as terra, terra meaning earth, extra earth. So we're going to be discovering new vast lands that will be available to us. And of course, the crown land will be dissolving. However, I know that there's a few people that love the idea of a tiny home, so I just wanted to showcase some really beautiful ones. Rammed earth homes. I trust you all have heard of the rammed earth home. I want to share a few examples of amazing homes that are actually being built in Canada. And they're all designed with non-toxic materials. They're homes that can be off the grid. And I'm sharing these homes because you are alive and your dwelling can be too. With a team of ecological and architectural industry experts, we can then customize our homes to be able to recycle water, to grow food, cool itself independently year-round, utilize natural lighting, and beyond. And these earth homes are rammed with, they're constructed of a compact soil molded into plywood. They're made of energy efficient material. Beautiful, aren't they? And then we have earth homes. I think they are adorable. So these earth homes are partially underground. And the benefits of living underground is not only an environmentally friendly, they're also energy saving idea. And it's been done by civilizations throughout history. I find most appealing is that after the construction is complete, the roof then of your home can be returned to the natural setting of the land. It's like surrounding it, right? Blending in. I think that's so beautiful. And then we have the Earthship home. I actually showcased the Earthship homes on our agricultural think tank a few weeks ago. And while traditional homes are made of stone, brick, lumber, etc., the Earth home is built of both natural and recycled materials, such as plastic bottles, cardboard, aluminum cans. The primary building material is recycled automobile tires filled with compact earth or compressed soil. And they are beautiful inside. And then we have hemp homes. I just interviewed Dion from 8th Fire Innovation here in Alberta, and he is building hemp homes using a material known as hempcrete, which is essentially a mixture of hemp hurd, which is the woody essence of the hemp plant. And hemp is actually being grown in Alberta. We have a processor here. There's farms that are transitioning over to hemp. This is very, very exciting because hemp has been hidden from us since the whole Illuminati took over, but you can use the whole plant for plastics, for paper, you name it. And of course, building amazing, beautiful homes. These are just a few more, just to showcase the idea that we can still have luxury, right? We can still have beauty. We can still have quality in our life. Now, these are the Venus-inspired homes. So if you're familiar with the Venus Project, these are the homes that he created. It's a fabricated concrete. Then we have dome homes, and these are my favorite. Our body knows what our ideal space looks like and how to move naturally already, right? Your house is so much more than just a box, right? We're here to have a relationship with our home. There are many dome homes that are being created with organic materials. You can create your dome home to match your personality. You can even grow trees inside your dome home. This is my home right here, my dream home. This is my favorite. And we can actually have dome homes in Canada. And they keep out the cold and they allow for the sun when we have passive heating and cooling systems. Phenomenal. If you do not want an individual home, you have the ability to have your own a circular connected home. And these are similar to 1-floor or 2-floor apartment buildings that we can have in a community. So this one here is actually a straw bale building. So there are so many different types of buildings that are being created. And you can actually step into whatever home design you prefer. What makes you happy? What makes your soul happy? And of course, your home is going to be created with non-toxic material. Now we move into food production. There's the Wallapina greenhouse, the agro-tunnel greenhouse, and a geodome greenhouse. So when it comes to food production, it will depend on the size of the village. For example, if we have 200 people, it's important to be able to have the resources to grow and produce natural and highly nutritious food, such as the model is where we are creating a community-supported agricultural system. And we can have these 3 types of greenhouses to grow fruit trees, vegetables year-round. And we can also have our gardens and farms, of course, as well. Okay, everyone, let's just take a deep breath again of that life force energy. And as you exhale, just you're letting go and you're just surrendering to the possibility, surrendering to a new reality, a beautiful reality that we can all co-create together, whether it's in Alberta, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Ontario, PEI, wherever it is, Yukon, it doesn't matter. We get to create the reality that we want to step into outside of the government control. And just knowing that this is a possibility. And again, community economic development, this is going to be up to everyone. And as we move forward, we can look at different models as we did last week with Marianne in regards to the one small town contributionism model. We can look at barter systems. We can look at the resource-based economy. There's so many possibilities. And I do believe that it's now possible to have everyone on earth enjoy a very high standard of living with all the amenities that a prosperous community can really provide. It is not money that people require in this, but rather free access to most of their needs without worrying about financial security or having to appeal to government bureaucracy. And we'll also have the marketplace where people can sell products and services. And again, they're welcome to use barter, time exchange, whatever system that is collectively agreed upon. Energy. Yes, all of these homes can actually be built off grid. The whole community can be off grid. And energy will be renewable, of course. And we'll have a proactive approach and making sure again that we have these semi-subterranean greenhouses, solar power, free energy generators. We know they exist, right? Shared social spaces. And again, passive heating and cooling, capturing the sun. And there's just so much that we can do. I'm just giving you a few ideas. I know that when I was speaking to Cindy, when she was with the Frontenac One Small Town movement in Quebec many years ago, and she said that one of the biggest problems was conflict. People did not know how to get along. Well, this is where our Plan Council comes into play. And it's not a hierarchy. The council is actually an education system where we learn about self-governance. And once we all learn the 6 basic human needs, I'm sure that you're all familiar with Anthony Robbins. He's been teaching this for decades. Once we all know what our needs are and how to meet those needs in a very healthy way, we then create love for ourselves, love for others. We move into unity consciousness. We love Earth. And we embrace our faults, our flaws. We embrace everything about ourselves. And then we step into being in selfless service, being responsible, and co-creating with others. And of course, location is going to be key. If we're creating a parallel society from the ground floor and creating a foundation for what's possible, having the right location is so important. And that would be making sure that weather meets our needs, weather is conducive, sufficient sunlight, sufficient water supply, clean water supply, making sure that we have easy access to supplies, materials, medical services, and really having existing beauty so that we don't have to create the beauty. We're still going to be creating our community to be what it is. I do know that manifestation of land, that the earth is here to serve us and support us if we are respecting her. We really move forward by creating a business plan, strategizing together, right? Designing a virtual model if possible, and looking at different stages. Again, manifesting the land, creating the necessary relationships, architects, engineers, etc. manifestation of funding. And I do believe that we will move onto the property when we are shovel ready and able to start building, which means 100% funded and free of financial obligation. Living in intentional communities is like falling in love. When they enter community, people in a very real sense do fall in love with one another en masse. They not only feel like hugging each other, they feel like hugging everyone all at once. During the highest moments, the energy level is supernatural. It is ecstatic. I'm Scott Peck. This is where we're going, everyone. Okay, so these are going to be the resources that you can check out. If you're interested in looking at intentional communities that already exist, this is the website. I'm just giving you a few examples, but it's actually, the directory is quite extensive. And some of them have really beautiful pieces of property. So it really just depends on what part of the country that you live in and what values, what system you want to step into. You are living art, everyone. And our life, our future is in our hands. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm just going to open it up to a Q&A and open to ideas, open to questions. And let's keep it on the topic because I know that there's quite a few people who are very interested in this, in the parallel society and knowing that we can do this. And there are many intentional communities in the United States. The directory that I gave you is only for Canada, but you can check out other intentional communities. Christina brought up one in, I do believe it was Italy or Spain. And so there's quite a few around the world. Sherry, go ahead.
So we actually have one that's being built right now here in Alberta, and the woman who is doing it has just gone through the most amazing effort to, against all odds with local municipalities, to actually get it happening. Her name's Natasha. She's on the call right now. I've invited her. And I just wonder, is it appropriate for her to talk a little bit about her community now, or is this something for a later call that might be more appropriate?
This is the perfect time. 100% yes. Because we're here to co-create and everyone has ideas. I just know that I wanted to create this presentation because a lot of people are struggling with possibilities in the future. And so this is to open up and ignite the imagination so that we can all begin to co-create. So yes, Sherry, please introduce.
Great.
Hi.
I will quickly just say before Natasha gets on, is she's an extraordinary person. She's extremely modest, but her life story has led her to this point, and what she's actually gone through and done just so far to create this community is extraordinary and very much something that I think Lifeforce members will love. So thank you. I'll butt out now.
Sorry, what is your name again?
Natasha Stenzel.
Hello, Natasha, and you are in Edmonton, correct?
Actually, just outside in St. Albert, but yes. Our location that we searched for well over a few years was or is in the county of Parkland, and it is just on Lake Isle, and we're 146 acres, and we've already got our organic garden all up and running. We've got our water, and you are so right when you started talking about services and other things that were very, very important. But we spent the last year just trying to get this, I guess, as Sherry said, the struggles down put. It's very shocking how the government, municipalities, they always move up the goalposts, and they make it very difficult to do this. And we're persevering through it all, and but happy to tell everyone about how we chose the land, or also how we are kind of trying to grow our community and be surrounded by like-minded people.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to hear how you found your land, your manifestation.
And also the name of it, which,
Yes.
given what Karen shared, is extraordinary.
Well, the name was what we heard from our children through many years of struggling to, I guess, you know, try to make something of ourselves, I guess, me. And I came from the Yukon. I was born and raised by naturalists. And so that's a whole nother story. But my mom is very fanatical. Uh, and I can say that because it is true. But on the other hand, she's very right. She's very right in her beliefs. But through that, I kind of rebelled for many years and said, I want to live with technology. I want to live an easier life. And then found out that that wasn't really all that fulfilling and wholesome and didn't feel very good and was really struggling with a lot of things. And so we persevered. We found some other properties in our dream locations where people are open arms, but on the other hand, the deals just didn't come together. And then people kind of stole our ideas. And so we persevered on. And then I found this amazing man who agreed to let us pay for things over time, because they make they as in financial institutions, everything, make it impossible to do this. And I'm a realtor for 23 years, and I know all about financing and putting deals together. And I can tell you this, is finding the land and then struggling to come up with deals to make it go was a whole story in itself. He did agree. We were able to meet all of his requirements, and I'm happy to say, as of today, just today, I got the letter from our lawyer that we're free and clear, and we have our land, and it's a
Yay.
clear title. So that was, yeah,
Yay. We
that's
celebrate.
step number one.
What a,
And
this is a perfect
yes,
day to be announcing this.
it is. It is. And I just got the email just moments, and then Sherry texted me, and everything has come together. It is a very joyous day. But like, water is so important, and we were told by so many people and engineers that it was that we may not have good water. And I'm like, oh no, we have to have good water. And in the end, not only did we have great water that we don't have to treat, it was in a natural coal field that's a natural filter. It's incredible. And then we found a spring on our property that just sprung. It was kind of like, welcome, we need you here.
Yeah.
And the soil is untouched. There was no chemicals. There was no fertilizers used, no nothing. And it's just been, I've never felt so happy in my life, and it's so free to be out there. And so we are opening, and how we are doing this is we keep on having to find a way. We've been told no so many times. I actually had to go to court last year, and a judge, luckily enough, sided with us and told the county that we had ownership rights. And so a part of this is we are giving people their own lots and their own freedom. We're encouraging them to do many things. One is gardening. Others is planting, of course, a food forest, which we did plant an orchard. We do want to come together and share thoughts and feelings, but on the other hand, be open to everything, but not critical and not judgmental. And we really want to be free. I so want to be free again. So we are charging basically just a set lot price that includes electrical and water, but water is going to come a little bit later. We have to get licensing through the government, which is a very long, expensive process. But we are persevering step by step, and we are open. And the name of our company, which is what we heard for such a long time from our children, is Wish You Were Here Eco Village.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, I love it. And you know what? You are grounding the truth in everyone on this call and those who are going to watch the replay, that we can manifest these communities. So thank you so much, Natasha. This is very, very exciting.
And grow them with people, our own produce, our own food, our own beliefs, our own life, and no judgment. And that's what I'm most looking forward to. And I'm and the people I've even met over the last little while has been what an eye opener. But I wish everyone the best, and hopefully everyone can find me. Sherry's going to be our walking billboard, and we do also believe in not only the barter system, but other systems, and trying to make it as affordable as possible for everybody to enjoy this. We're also not critical on the type of small homes, earth homes, whatever people do want to bring out, it is their choice. I know many people are critical of, living, that you have to have a certain property or small home or something of certain value. We are not judgmental, and we are not putting any of those rules into place. So we're really hoping to have everyone out and to grow our community. So thank you for this opportunity to introduce our new eco village.
So Natasha, how many lots do you have available?
We're bringing on 100 lots this year. Mm-hmm. Next year, we'll bring on another 100 lots, and we are trying to get licensing up to 220. And I said trying, if we can't the traditional way, my lawyer has found the untraditional way. And either way, we will grow this community. And I encourage anyone that ever wants to do this, you have to always plan A, B, C, and you can never take no as an answer, and you have to persevere. And I have spent the last year doing that. So I'm always available if anyone wants to hear the number of steps and the number of times that you'll be told no. Happy persevering. But we're open this year with about 100 lots. Each lot is it's about 100 feet deep, and we're doing them about 40 feet wide. There are some bigger lots and some smaller lots, and they're priced accordingly. We do have a few 50 amp stalls, but very few. We are doing solar. We are doing, the list is very long, but they can only be done as we grow our community.
Natasha, tell them about the sawmill and what you're doing.
Oh, well, thank you. We waste nothing. So actually, I was out there today. It was pretty cold and pretty terrible, but we have 2 sawmills. So every tree that we have to take down to build our community, we bless the tree, we thank the tree. We then cut it into 10-foot lengths. And out of that 10-foot length, we use lumber to build our animal houses, our powerhouses, our little wood sheds, our outbuildings, etc. Right now, they're not allowing us to use it for any permanent structures, but we're trying to get permission for our cabins. Then we use the chips for our animal beds. So we chip any of the branches. All the sawdust is put in the garden, and we use it as compost, along with the ash of anything that we burn. Everything of that tree is used and replanted. And, we really encourage people to, you have to continue the balance of our earth and all of the cycles. You have to, we had a lot of trees damaged by a forest fire that came through. So we're utilizing them first, and then we're replanting variety of other trees. And the other trees, it's interesting, some trees don't get along. So you can't plant nut trees and fruit trees together because the nut trees will kill the fruit trees. So it's interesting, but we're planting all different trees in different areas, and we have a real beautiful mix of trees as it is. So our forest is already used to that. And then we're using that sawdust that we're making from the sawmill back to planting the trees again, because it's what they need. It's their food, it's natural fertilizer. So everything that we're doing, we're utilizing everything. And it is a very important story to say you cannot waste anything in this world now. Everything, every molecule must be used.
Beautiful, Natasha. Does anyone have any questions for Natasha? Thank you so much for being here. I know this is just divine timing. I love it. Karen, go ahead.
Yes, Natasha, is this a land trust or how exactly have you purchased the land and how are people coming to your community?
We purchased the land through, we put up some of our other properties, and then the owner of the property, he was in a stress situation himself. And so he allowed us a little bit of time to sell these properties. And then how we are doing it right now is that we're offering you, it's like your own lot or your own space that you would have like a life lease, a renewable lease. However, the county has given us a lot of pushback on absolutely everything. So we may be giving out shares in our company. So we bought it in a company so that everyone could have ownership of that company. So then they have owner's rights. And then it doesn't matter what the county says or does to us. We all have rights to be there, rights to garden, rights to do things. It has been very challenging because the other county we were in highly encouraged. If anyone's looking for land, look in the county of Alaska. They open arms, willing to work with us. We had a deal pending there. It was unfortunately upset by the company that owned the property, was very greedy and wanted right now, and we weren't able to offer that, just our ideas. And then they, at any rate, the county of Athabasca was amazing. So if anyone's looking, that is the county to look into. They're very open to these ideas. We're in the county of Parkland, and they say that it's the second hardest county to do anything with, the first being Strathcona. They are also oil-based and well-funded. County of Parkland is second. They had some coal facilities that they've had a tough time transitioning out of, but they're very difficult to deal with. So we've always looked at a plan A and then other plans. And so we are really looking at this, more of this ownership plan. But it is a work in progress. Every time we're said no to, we have to try to find another way. So that's kind of where we're at right now, is that they are leases that you can sign. They're renewable yearly. And they start at, I think, $3,800 a year, including your power and your water. And they are very large stalls, and they are a treat, and all natural.
Incredible. Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome. But Sherry's got all of our information, and we would love to have everything. She's just a great source, and she's been out there. So, we would really love to, have any questions also go through her, because happy to, again, work in like-minded groups. And right now I'm out there a great deal. So I'm relying on her a lot too. So thank you. And thank you to everybody. But if anyone's interested, I'm an easy person to find. If you Google my name, Natasha Stenzel. Right now, we have been keeping our company name a little quiet because we are trying to limit this to very naturally minded people, and we are going to be an eco village. We do have the organic garden already set up and looking for people that if they want to be a part of it, great. If they want to just have that kind of food source, great. We're very open-minded, and we're just in the development stages right now, and we're waiting for it to form itself, because I think that's really a part of this concept is that, it's not anything that's in stone. It's more of a work in progress, a creation.
Absolutely it is. Thank you, Natasha. Brian, did
You're
you have a
welcome.
question?
Yeah, I certainly do. Just let me get my dog under control. Go to somebody else right now.
Okay. There was somebody else here that had a question, but I don't see the hand up anymore. Claudia, there you are.
Yeah, I took it down. I thought, well, that will get us sidetracked, but wow, what? Nut trees can't be with fruit trees? Okay, divine intervention. Somebody just yesterday offered me for May 1st, before they get out the leaves, 3 buckeye, and I was totally gonna put them in my to-be fruit orchard. Okay, I guess I'll have to do research on that. Thank you. I never heard about that before. Okay, that's
Yes, the roots nut trees will poison the fruit trees. They have to be a minimum of about 100 feet apart. It's like a Jenga disease. It's called. I might not be pronouncing that right, but yes, keep them well apart, and also like fruit trees, they cross-pollinate, and it's very important to keep them together and keep the nuts on the way far away. So that is it's. I was raised by naturalists, and we grew all of our own food, but we couldn't grow any, of course, nuts up in the Yukon. But at any rate, it's very good information.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Claudia. Brian?
Yeah. Well, did you say $3,800 a year?
I did, including power and water. That's correct.
Including power and water. And I was just like, are you kidding? That's crazy. So I could come down there and give you $3,800 and I get a lot? That's a lease?
That's correct.
Yeah,
That
and the
is.
lease is the deterrent. I'm not really interested in a lease, but you're working on alternatives to that?
We are looking at some different ownerships and so forth. The problem is we can't condominiumize. We can't, like, there's so many different things that you can't do that are very difficult, and that also come with more strings. So we want the least amount of strings as possible, but also as much ownership and community engagement, and is a very good word, I guess, that that we would all somewhat have the same goals and vision. We are also trying to be unmotorized, so and we are trying to be as electric dependent as possible, because we are building a huge solar system. We made an incredible electrical agreement with Equist, which is a cooperative, and they have been so helpful and amazing to get us up and running. And then we will be on the grid system, and we can go to net zero, but we can't make money, believe it or not, by selling our power. So there's lots of opportunity, but it's very difficult dividing up land. You can't subdivide them. You can't, like, there's so many things that you can't do, but we are looking at other ownership opportunities.
What do you mean by other ownership opportunities?
You don't
Like that-
share in the company that owns the whole whole part.
I get that. I am major interested in something like this. And I would love to at least get in touch with you, maybe Sherry as well, and we can go over some of the details. This is of great interest to me. Thank you. I yield.
Hey, Brian, I know you've been looking for a while. This is exciting. Tanis, go ahead.
Yes, and we are looking into the cooperative rules too. It was interesting. I was just reading up on that. There is a lot of great information coming through. So that's where we said that we are not yet engraved in stone on anything. We are a work in progress. But we are building it right now, and it is underway. Road builder, and nothing is like in any of our roads and so forth. We actually picked them through the trees, and I made him go around. We have historical trees and some beautiful trees, and he actually works around them. We have some trees that are over 200 years old on the property, and then some that were damaged in this fire. So it's so interesting how nothing is a straight line either.
Do all the lots have to be cleared?
No, what we do is we clear a very small portion of the lot, but you are allowed 40 by 100. That's one of the smaller sizes. There is bigger, but if you want to clear more, we just ask you that you ask us which one. We help you take them down because we want to put them through the sawmill, and then we help you replant of whatever you want to replant, because we're just trying to keep the regeneration going. But some people are very concerned about light, their garden space, etc. So we also pick lots with people based on south facing, less, in some cases less shelter. In another case, some are closer to our spring, so people want some of that. Everyone's choices are different, and so we just try to educate you on each lot and what those choices are. But we clear a very small portion. We clear only about 20 feet by about 60 feet, and we gravel that. The rest is a work in progress of what each person needs or wants.
Now you just got it started, like today is your first day, so there's not very many lots at all right now that are taken. And you have a lot of interest because I imagine this could domino right quick.
Well, we have a little secret to advertise it. So we did do, we have 12 lots last year, and we did a test run, and we learned a lot. We found that we have to learn by doing. There's no books on this, there's nothing. And so we learned very quickly we needed to space our lots further apart. We needed to do them a little bit differently. We also investigate all of the services and the water last year and developing that. So, you know what, we're keeping it with right now, a very select few people know about it, and we are trying to really stress like-minded people. So I see no rush and no panic for anyone, and best to, be in conversation with Sherry, and that we can, of course, build this community together. And then we're bringing on a lot more lots next year, and then we're limiting it. We had enough room for over 400 lots. That's not what we want. And we also have a whole environmental reserve to one side of us. That's a ravine. And in our front, we have 300 meters. So we also have some extra garden spaces. And we have a lot of things that we will be developing over time that will allow people to, again, build our community. Like, we have 146 acres. It's a lot of space.
Fantastic. Candace, go ahead.
Okay. I'm almost speechless because this is like so amazing. Thank you, Sherry, for bringing her on. Like, wow. So I have a couple questions, but so this is a completely self-sustaining community where you would have like schools, healthcare, all that kind of stuff, or is this just basically lots where you would garden?
This is lots where you would live and garden, both. We do have schools around us. However, we will be doing, as we develop, we are going to be teaching. However, we aren't far enough along, and it will develop over time to have more of the schools and healing services. However, right now, like that is the end goal, and we are looking at part of our eco village was like a circle of life. It's called Around a Pond, and it was something that I was introduced to when I was in Singapore, and it was a very, very magical place. And we want to create a lot of these around our spring and some of the stuff that we have, but it will take time. So I can't say that, you know, it'll take a long time to develop those further refined services, but that is the goal. The goal is to have a lot of retreats, a lot of teaching opportunities. For me, I would be grateful to teach all the gardening that I've learned over the years, and I learned by surviving and doing. So, but I wouldn't promise that we're there to a whole community. Right now, we are giving lots, offering these things to people, and offering them opportunity, and that we really want to focus on Mother Earth, our eco village, and creating a village, and how that village becomes is all up to its people.
Okay. There's you're talking about water, or not water, but like the power and stuff too. Anybody that knows me, that I've been talking about the EPL for a year now. It's the Earth Power Lodge. And that's something that is, I don't know if you've heard of it, Natasha, but it actually creates power as a byproduct. But anyways, and I was also wondering if you had any ideas about how to counteract all the radiation towers and stuff like that too, because you guys are so close to the city.
We are, but I can assure you, we're down in a valley, and we picked our land based on that we're in this valley that is quite sheltered. We are surrounded by crown land on one side that is no one's allowed to touch, which was great. We have a farmer to the other side. So it was extremely difficult finding like all of the checklist is so long to find land that isn't chemically or isn't dumped upon, isn't like, it is so hard. It took a lot of years to find this. So in our case, we are, the internet, for example, is not good out there. And that is another thing that we're in talks with TELUS on, because there is no towers where we are. So it is very hard. So there is, and there isn't a lot of power. That was one thing that they were really worried about, the community as a whole, that we had to bring in our own power with Equist, and that none of the other power companies wanted to do something that you were eventually going to go totally into solar. None of them wanted anything to do with us. And then another thing is we didn't want gas lines. We didn't want anything to do with petroleum as much as we could. And very interestingly enough, that became a big discussion. But we learned a lot of new technology, like you said, about the earth buildings, etc. We learned a lot. This last year, we tested quite a few new technologies, and none of them gas-based. And it was very, very interesting.
Yeah, Karen just put the link for the Earth Power Lodge, because it is an amazing thing, because you can grow a lot of different things, but you can look that up on your own thing. But and I just had one last question quickly, is like, what part of the Yukon are you from? Because I spent my summers up in the Yukon at 60 Mile.
Oh, yeah, I know that well. Well, I was born in Whitehorse, raised in a multitude of different areas, because of course my parents, my dad was a truck driver, and so he was everywhere throughout the Yukon and North America, which I traveled with him a great deal. But we were at the Takini Hot Springs, where they grew pheasants, and did a lot of work there. And then I was in Atlin, also Marsh Lake, Carcross. And then we were in the US for quite some time by Skagway and Haines and Anchorage. So I covered a lot of ground. But for the most part, we wintered in Whitehorse.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanis. Monica, go ahead.
Hey, Natasha, this is Monica. Actually, Parkland County is indeed very difficult to deal with. We have an assembly here in Parkland County, what is called Parkland County, but our name is Parkland Community. So I would really be interested in meeting with you and get you together with some mind-like people. So if I can do that to Sherry or however, that would be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. You can look me up. My phone number is posted on the internet, well posted. My name is Natasha Stenzel, and Stenzel is Stenzel. And then Sherry has my contact and that. And yes, they are very, I don't want to be rude, but we'll just say less than adequate. And they are small thinkers, very small. And they try to say that they're trying to be more environmental, but they are exact opposite.
Yeah, we
They're
got the
forcing
same
us.
experiences.
Yeah, they're forcing us to pave our entrance. And again, I'm against paving. I'm against oil. I'm against gas. I'm against all these things that we all talk about. They're toxic. And I want pure soil. And I've spent years looking for that. And yet they are charging us or penalizing us. And I'm like, okay, can I buy my way out of the pavement? Like, I'll pay a fine. And they're like, no, you have to do this, or we'll not let you go on your land. And that's one of the court cases that I won on, is that they weren't going to let us even enter our own land because I was refusing to pave it.
Well, good for you. Awesome.
Well, thank you, but it shouldn't be such a struggle. But they and when they don't like your answers, or if you win in court, by the way, then they just don't return your phone calls, which is a whole nother thing.
Well, I've been through that with them, so you're not the only one. So, but kudos to you. So hope to see you soon.
Well,
take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. And Trevor, go ahead.
Thank you. This is amazing. This is exactly, what I feel like. It's like we've been waiting for this. So yay, it's here. And I wanted to go back to the water and the power that the lots are supplied with. So those are technically currently on grid, and a plan to get completely off grid. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, that is
okay.
Correct. Well, the water is off grid, and our water will not be treated. And we're not going for what's called a potable system, but we will give everyone the testing. So you can decide I drink the water. I love the water. It's amazing. But it's each person's choice. I will give you the testing of what they tested. It's elaborate testing, by the way. But if I go to potable water, I have to treat it. And I don't want to treat the water. I don't want to put chemicals in it. I don't want I don't want that stuff, because our water is incredible. It comes naturally filtered through this coal. And the driller that we even hired to drill was fighting with the engineers, because the engineers wanted him to go deeper and into the shale. And he's like, no, shale is not good water for drinking. And anyhow, it was very interesting.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, I love that. That the plan is to keep the water untreated. So good. What kind of time frame were you thinking for I don't know if you mentioned it, for switching the power from grid to completely off-grid solar or whatever else? Could you hear me?
Oh, yes. Sorry. I'm sorry. I just hit my mute button somehow.
Oh.
So sorry. So yeah, with the water, we don't want to treat things, and then getting off grid on our power supply. They brought it in so we can get up and running. It's really, it takes time and money to build each step of each one of these things. And so of course we needed people to have power. Like we tried this year doing it just all on solar and smaller systems, and we were just not able to. A lot of people were operating off of generators and gas. There was a lot of noise pollution, and it wasn't as peaceful. So we felt that we needed to go, and it was a part of the testing. So we brought in the power for now, but again, it was a cooperative, and the agreement was amazing with them that we were allowed to transition totally off grid.
That's awesome. So is it kind of up to the lot owner when they transition off, the grid into solar? Do they have a choice, or is it more of a collective choice?
It's more of a collective choice, because it would be now our own solar system, so that it wouldn't change the pricing for anybody or anything, but it does. It's going to take years to do enough to be able to, again, get the whole community up and running. And batteries keep on changing. Like, there's a lot of things that have changed. So that's why we chose to do our own grid system. So we're digging our own lines within our own property right now, but so that we can transition into solar. But it's more the batteries so far are still too toxic, and some other stuff that aren't as, the technology isn't quite there. And we found that every year we wait, it seems to get better. So that's why right now we chose to do this type of system, a grid system, until we can transition off.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank
you, Trevor.
Oh, thank you.
I know there's so many people in Alberta that are very excited because you're in Alberta. However, I know there's many people here that are in other provinces across Canada that are also inspired. So this is very exciting. Mary Kay.
Hi, I just wanted to say, first off, thank you, Natasha, because I can't imagine the amount of work this has taken to do this and to be offering it at those prices. I would like to be able to contact you, and I do have your number, but I can imagine you're quite busy. So I'm just hoping that I can reach out to you, and there would be a good time I could do so.
I'm available most evenings, just because right now we are on site, and I am there every day watching everything and collaborating with everybody, and hugging the few special trees. But unfortunately there are some necessary evils. But at any rate, I feel that it's very important for me to be there. Anyhow, most evenings are best, and we'll make sure that we take your calls. I am available somewhat through the day. It's just that it's really not the best cell area out there right now. We are in discussions with TELUS, but for right now, it's not always the best.
Thank you. And Claudia.
Yeah, Natasha, I wondered if you had heard of, I don't know what Karen thinks of that, because you interviewed Michael Tellinger, but if your community would like sort of qualify for what Michael Tellinger is offering for energy device. I know you said you're a long way away from having any productive something out there, right? That's what Michael wants, sort of, right? Karen, what do you think?
Yeah, I do believe he's looking more at the business of a town.
Okay, before he hands out, because this is the community in like in a place together and like-minded people, right? Yeah, that's why I find them a little bit limited. Okay, because that would be beautiful to hand it there. And yeah, the people who live there all have to do something, right? Besides gardening. Or Natasha, is the plan only to live out there and garden?
That's kind of that's how I, grew my life. But we also have chickens at our house in St. Albert that lay eggs. And so we are looking at doing some animals. We are able to do that. And people, really want to encourage, living, as a whole, being self-sustainable, etc. But each person finds a different way, and we learn from them, and so we're very open to how people want to grow this. Like it one village can grow in many different directions based on its people, so it will develop over time, and I just don't want to put it in a box somewhere. I really find that these can flourish, and each person will take it in their own little bit of direction, and we want people to have that open mind. But for the most part, I think we just want to live whole, peaceful lives that are free. Gardening is very fulfilling. Knowing where your food comes from is, I'll tell you, a big step in the right direction. And just I found that this has taken many steps in many different directions, but we want to leave it kind of open for how the people feel the directions that they want to go in. For me, I don't want chemicals. I don't want gas, fertilizer, those kind of things. I want to really limit that. We really want to try to limit any motorized type of vehicles to the bare minimum. We understand people have to come and go, but on the other hand, we don't want people, I guess we want to be good to our Mother Earth, good to our environment, and try to make our own difference.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I know that it sometimes sounds like people who just want to live like you just described, they're not productive, but I would say that's ultimately wrong, because I think you guys would expand consciousness at a much faster pace for sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's kind of why we don't say that it's going to be one thing or another, because it's really hard. It's hard to see how that will grow itself. I really think it'll manifest itself.
Thank you, Claudia. And Natasha, this is so incredible having you here today. I love how synchronicity works. We've been talking about intentional communities for a while. And so then I said last week, I'm going to share the Calgary one that I have for our area. And Sherry had mentioned that you had created one in northern Alberta, but I had no idea that you're going to be on the call today. So my higher self obviously did, and yours. And so Sherry, we all connected. I love it. So thank you. And I would love to drive out there this summer and have a look at your property. I think what you're doing is exceptional. And I know you've inspired so many people to know that we can manifest and co-create these communities together.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very grateful.
And I do believe, oh, Brian, you have a question, and then we'll get to Arlene.
Yeah, it's just, I just wanted to emphasize, I've been looking at properties as of late in great detail. I come home today and the research is on my computer and it's right in front of my face as soon as I turn on my computer. Just highly interested, motivated, and want to see this. And I imagine the properties will be getting taken rather quickly. So I want to get my pick. Well, the picking is good. So I would like to come down and see you if I could Friday or this weekend.
I'm available Friday. I'll be out there all day Friday. So, and that's going to be a beautiful day, and happy to meet you then, and absolutely willing to get you. Again, we're kind of building to suit right now. So please come on down Friday.
I love it.
Okay.
This is great, Brian. I love how connections are being made. This is what it's all about.
So just to be more clear where we are at exactly, our exact address is 53508 Range Road 55. And then I also wanted to add that, you know, this property, when we found it, it was not listed. Again, I found it more out of determination and putting it out to the universe, because I had been hurt badly of losing this other property. And I did get on the computer, but I did these historical searches of properties that didn't sell. And so that's a little hint to everyone, is always look at what wasn't, and then it's what can be that. It was, I guess my philosophy was, rather than working or trying to find a property that's listed, I looked at people who had given up. And it was, that's my found.
Beautiful. That's how we manifest. Love it. Okay. Thank you, Tiffany. Okay, Arlene, did you have another question, Brian? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just sorry.
No, I get it.
No.
It's great.
You
Arlene?
got our address there, right? That we're on Range Road 55 and just off Yellowhead.
53508 Range Road 55.
That's it, yes. And if you've hit the lake, you've gone too far. You just passed our entrance. And you should just park at the entrance. We'll come out, because you can get to the top of the hill right now, but it can get pretty mucky. So I can come out and grab you.
Okay.
And we look forward to hearing your feedback, Brian, next week. So Arlene had mentioned in the chat that because we are here and this is where we're going, right? We're going to be taking these steps. And so she was talking about something that we could do in the meantime while we're all co-creating our intentional communities throughout Canada. So Arlene, you can go ahead and share.
Sorry, I just had to unmute. I've been thinking for businesses so that we can avoid maybe like mandates and like co-ownership for land and things like that, is these worker-owned cooperatives like they have in Andalusia, Spain. And I know in 2008, when there was the downturn then, that because everything in this whole area, this whole province of Spain was run through worker-owned cooperatives, they did not have the problems that the rest of Europe had, and they functioned and survived the 2008 downturn much better than any other area of Europe. And so, like, the agriculture is run through, we already have like cooperatives. And cooperatives were something in the States that actually were huge during the dirty 30s and during times of economic hardship, that basically gave power to people. So we will need clothing and other, like when they say marketplaces in these intentional communities, and we have to transition from the governmental corporate structures we have now.
Yes.
And that's why I think worker-owned cooperatives might be our best bet. there's a reason I think governments kind of fear them, because it is, you know, it's not communism, but you still participate in a market economy. But because I think even some like corporations can be taken over by the workers under certain circumstances. And so that's why, you know, if some of these corporations, people don't understand, but in the beginning of capitalism, it was supposed to follow, because America, Britain, places like that were ostensibly Christian, it had to follow some moral, ethical base, and businesses 300 years ago could be shut down simply, like they might be prosperous, but if they were not following a moral, ethical basis, they could actually be shut down, you know. So you didn't have the predatory capitalism like we do today. And you know, the businesses of the day, free market or not, had to follow the values inherent in a community. People don't understand and know that. You know, it's just like now, of course, companies are beholden to their shareholders. Well, in a worker-owned cooperative, you are the majority shareholders. There aren't, you know, unnamed, untitled companies that can act as persons and all of this other garbage. And so in Mondragon, Spain, I know it started in the 50s by a priest and 5 other higher up members of the Andalusian community who said, if we wait for the rich to save us, we will never get saved.
Right.
So, yeah. So I think there's a reason why Microsoft went to Mondragon to check it out, because I think they're afraid of things like worker-owned cooperatives. Even if we, you know, we look at the Chinese and we're afraid of the Chinese, but look at Huawei, it's a worker-owned cooperative. People don't know that. We want to shut them down and not have them spying on us, but that company itself is a worker-owned cooperative. So if, you know, I had a brother, you know, worked his life in the oil industry, oh, that sounds like communism. It's like, no. Now it can be more onerous because you get into these situations that are like condo associations. And I mean, if you've ever been in a condo association, it's painful. But when you all have a vote and a voice and a say, yeah. But then too, like in a place like Mondragon, nobody lost their employment. You know, it's largely an agricultural community, but then they also do have, I think, other forms of manufacture for their community. And it was so resilient in 2008 that it's something we need to look at, because if you're building intentional community with marketplaces, which we have to have clothes, we have to have things that might not be 100% local. And so how do we get that? How do we trade? To me, we need to turn companies and manufacture into worker-owned cooperatives.
I agree, Arlene. Thank you so much for bringing this up. And, you know, it's something that everyone's been talking about too for the past while. So I think that we're all gathering our energies to really focus on the future. And Karen Hanna from our Plan Council Manitoba, she is with a group wanting to create a think tank for these discussions that we're having today, and to continue these discussions and then take these discussions and create action plans for creating intentional communities.
Yeah, just welcome anyone to come on to our Telegram group and see some of the different resources, videos, etc. that we got posted on there. One Small Town, there's different eco villages on there, and I'll find the link and we'll post it in the chat as well.
Thank you, Karen. DK, do you still have a question or something you wanted to share?
Yeah, Natasha, this sounds really, really interesting. The question I had earlier was I just wanted to introduce myself. So I'll say that I was interested in, yeah, potentially looking further into this. So as I'm sure most people here are. So with that, I yield.
Thank you, DK. Yeah, there's quite a few resources in the links. I'll make sure that those go on the YouTube video as well for anyone who's not in Alberta. And I think that we are all even more inspired than we were before to create a beautiful future and know that we have infinite possibilities. Thank you, all of you. Together we rise. We are doing it. We're making it happen. And we know that the corrupt government systems will be collapsing, and more people are making sure that the errors have been corrected, that the government is correcting the errors, and there's a lot of errors, to bring back and restore the rights of humanity, to restore the rights of sovereigns. And so bit by bit, it's happening. And so we will be able to create these communities with more ease and grace as we keep moving forward. So yeah, very excited. Okay, thank you everyone. If you want to stay for meditation, we're going to visualize our future. And if not, have an awesome week. I look forward to seeing you if you're in Alberta on the Alberta public meeting tomorrow night. Lots of love, everyone.
Thanks, Karen. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you.
Okay, so everyone just close your eyes. Focusing on your breath. Just slowing our breath down, breathing deeply. Bringing your breath all the way into your belly. And just feel that sense of everything is gonna be all right. We are powerful manifestors. And it's our job right now to remember how powerful we truly are as human beings. So just saying to yourself, I am a powerful manifester. I believe in a beautiful future. And now I want you to go even beyond believing to knowing. I know I am creating a beautiful future. I know I am creating a prosperous future. As I am prosperous now. Breathe in prosperity. Just letting go. Letting go of this reality. Letting go of the external world. Letting go of their creation. And just knowing I did it. I became awake. I became awake and aware in the darkness. How amazing am I? I'm on the path to remembering who I truly am. I am a brilliant human being. My brilliance is manifesting out there, creating my most incredible life. I am brilliant. I am amazing. And now I want you to imagine yourself in your own intentional community. See yourself walking on a path, large trees, and just use your imagination, bring your senses into these visuals within your mind. As you're walking, you're listening to the sound of birds singing. Maybe there's children laughing as your neighbor has their grandchildren over. And just allow yourself to walk around the corner and see your beautiful home. Whether it's an earth-rammed home or a dome home, hemp home, whatever home feels right to you. And just feel how good it feels to be at home. Knowing that you're in a community where everyone adores you, appreciates you, honors who you are, values you. They all see your greatness. And you love contributing, you love giving your time to others, helping others. And you really appreciate your neighbors are friendly. I want you to walk into your home. You're going to open the door to your home and walk in. If you haven't done so already, walk on the hardwood floors, whatever flooring you have. Feel your feet on the ground walking. Your hands are touching the countertop. Feel texture. Feel the spaciousness. Feel and know that your home is fully paid for. This is a debt-free society. This is all about abundance. You have no bills. Feel what it feels like to be free financially. Yes. You can even see yourself running to your bed and just jumping on your bed. Feel your joy. See yourself laughing. See your joy in your mind's eye. Joy is a really powerful energy that brings manifestation. You can see yourself hugging family if you're living with others. See them smiling and happy. Now see yourself walking outside your home, walking through the pathways again, through the trees. There's fruit trees. You can actually pick apples off the tree and eat the apple. There's a garden right there. You can just grab a carrot if you want a carrot, a little snack. And just see yourself walking to the marketplace, hugging other people. And just really allow yourself to see yourself exchanging goods with no money, allowing that exchange to be a practice within the mind's eye, to feel what it feels like within the mind, emotionally, spiritually. And the final step here is see yourself stepping into your purpose. See yourself stepping into your passion. What does your soul always wanted to do? See yourself doing this in this community. And everyone appreciates what it is you do, the gift, the God-given gift that you have. Keep focusing on your breath. I am free. I'm manifesting my beautiful future now. I'm living into my beautiful life now. I'm letting go of this world. I'm letting go of this world. I'm letting go. And the more I let go, my new world, my new earth, my new community manifests with ease and grace. And so it is. On the count of 3, you can open your eyes. So 1, bring yourself back into the room. 2, bring yourself back into your body. Feel your feet on the floor. And 3. Thank you, Tia. Thank you, everyone, for being who you are. Divine, beautiful human beings. Namaste.
Thank you, women.
Great presentation tonight, Karen.
I
loved your presentation.
Thank you,
Good
Tam.
night.
Thank you. Love you.